Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and we are here at the Chicagoland Speedway here on this Thursday evening. We got Turkey Hill Series action coming up right after this over on Napa Fan. But we begin with qualifications for the Sirius XM 400 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, race 17 of the season, and the last traditional mile and a half of the season as well. I'm alongside Matt Tuck for the Coleman race of this tomorrow night, and Matt, with what we saw last week at North Wilkesboro and just how wild and ridiculous that was, and knowing the nature of this track, how wild and ridiculous do you think tomorrow night's race is going to be here on Napa Fan?
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, this is a lot different, both weather and climate-wise and track layout-wise than Kansas is. Kansas being overall a lot
North
flatter.
Wilkesboro, that was our last race.
Oh, North I'm sorry, I thought we were talking compared to Kansas. We'll see. I think North Wilkesboro, for the most part, once they got through some of the wrecking, was pretty tame. Matt Daly, though, just put an absolute clapping on the field there last week. But we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. I would expect this race to possibly get a little more chaotic. You have a lot more lanes at Chicagoland than you do North Wilkesboro. So just that alone allows for a lot more things to happen.
We'll have to see how it all goes down tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, I think that's the time it's going to be on Napa Fan. And 54 laps here at Chicagoland. Same hot seat drivers as last week from North Wilkesboro. Dillon Young in the 07, KeShawn Richardson in the 08, Jake Rogers in the 21, Owen Miles in the 55, Ryan Benjamin in the 57, Jeremiah Dwayne in the 67, and Christopher Alfveby in the 71 with Landon Smith Jr. in the 98. This is a very unique mile-and-a-half racetrack. Of course, like I said, it's the last traditional mile-and-a-half. We still have Rockingham Motors Speedway, but that is the most untraditional mile-and-a-half we go to. But the way they race here compared to all the other mile-and-a-halfs on the schedule is just a little wild. They run that middle lane. That middle lane is the preferred line here at the Chicagoland Speedway. And we tend to see a lot of carnage here as well. We're going to have to see how much we see throughout the weekend here on Napa Fan, but definitely looking forward to see how it all goes down. Fastest driver right now, not even with a draft, is Landon Smith Jr. in the 98, looking for 2 in a row here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He advanced his way on to the Southern States 400 last weekend. 55 is second right now. That is Owen Miles in that machine. Of course, all these guys are going to be racing here in less than an hour over on Napa Fan for the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300. 67 just went to the top of the board. That is Jeremiah Dwayne. Good run there for Jeremiah Dwayne going to the top of the board. He and Landon Smith Jr. currently the top 2 guys here in uncharted qualifying.
It'll be interesting, though, that 57 car sitting in the back of this draft. He might be in the get spot here to see if he can get in the tow and get a fast lap.
That's Ryan Benjamin, who's currently the slowest guy in this session. He will improve to 5th, but not enough to advance to the top of the board. Jeremiah Dwayne still the fastest, but Dillon Young will go to 2nd in the 07 machine. A good run there for Young, and he's sniffing a bit of that draft off the back of these guys, I think. And that might be helping him out here on this session.
Is it the 08 who got in the wall? Or maybe
might have gotten a bit of it there. Had a wild wreck in the Southern States.
57's up to 2nd.
Ryan Benjamin going to the 2nd position right there. But as I was about to say, KeShawn Richardson had a wild ride in the Southern States 400 in North Wilkesboro last week. Ended up getting sideswiped by Eli Bright. And he was running very well last week in North Wilkesboro. He'd love to get back into Chick-fil-A Cup Series race and have another shot at it. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do so here. We'll have to see what this lap is for him. And he improved his time, but not enough to beat Jeremiah Dwayne and Ryan Benjamin. And it looks like those are going to be the 2 guys who advance their way on. No draft for the 21 of Jake Rogers or the 71 of Christopher Alfveby. Those guys not getting any help out there on the racetrack. And then you got the number 98 in the pit lane. He's not going to have a shot either. He will probably not be able to get back out there on the racetrack and have another shot at a fast lap. This guy's going to go across the line one more time, but the tires are starting to wear out. Dillon Young, oh boy, so close there. 1/1000th off of Ryan Benjamin, but not enough to advance his way on. And they still got 30 more seconds left. We'll have to see if Dillon Young can get to the line and beat that time, or otherwise that could be it for Dillon Young and his chances of making it, and he's going to slow it down, so that's going to do it. It will be Jeremiah Dwayne and Ryan Benjamin in the Sirius XM 400 at Chicagoland tomorrow night, and they are going to be joining the other 40 full-time drivers in just a moment for pole qualifying here in Chicagoland. Even though they still have 30 more seconds left, that pack getting split up, I don't see the times improving for these guys, so that is how it will be for driver number 67 and the 57. And now we're going to get everybody else on the racetrack, and that'll definitely make things interesting here for the Sirius XM 400, and only 4 races left until the chase cutoff, so it could definitely get interesting tomorrow night in this race with all those scenarios going around in the wild card standings and in the regular point standings. Top 2 guys advance, Jeremiah Dwayne and Ryan Benjamin. They're going to join the other 40 full-time drivers here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series to qualify for the Sirius XM 400 from Chicagoland. And here we go to set the starting lineup for the Sirius XM 400 tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Napa Fan from Chicagoland. And even though we won't be getting a Chicagoland race in real life, we should have a good one here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and maybe even the New Era Cup Series. I said maybe. I'm sorry, Marty. Friendly jab. But either way, first driver out there, Andrew Miller in the 24, had a bit of a disappointing run in the Southern States 400. Got wrecked out in that race after running up front. Was running inside the top 5, and that sent him down in the points. He's currently 10th, right on the bubble, in a tiebreaker with Bradley Ream for the final transfer position onto the chase. So we'll have to see what he can do here at Chicagoland, if he can put a little bit more of a gap between him and Bradley Ream. There's Nathan Baird, who's had a really solid run as of late. Won Portland, finished 2nd in North Wilkesboro. Currently 7th in points. And there's Ace Garcia looking for some redemption after last week, after he had his moment, after they jammed the field up in that event at North Wilkesboro.
He definitely he got in a big one there. Didn't end well for him, but didn't end well for a lot of people there. Kind of storyline for, unless your name was Matt Dalio, it was not necessarily the best of the
And there's Matt Dalio in the 75 in the body armor scheme. I know you like that, Matt. But Dalio currently inside the wild card position, inside the first wild card position, 14th in the points. He's won here before at the Chicagoland Speedway, all the way back in Season 2, and he just went to the top of the board as well. But now his teammate McMillan has taken that top position away from him there in the number 79. It's been a tough season for McMillan, who comes into this race 25th in points. He has been moving up in the points as of late. He's been getting a lot better, but he's going to need a lot if he's going to make it into the chase. If he wins a race, though, he could send himself into that wild card battle, and that's where things can really, really get crazy here. But speaking of crazy, I think we're in store for a crazy one tomorrow night. Shane Lakes won a couple of crazy ones this season in number 15. I know you're proud of this guy. 2nd in the points, only 3 off the points lead.
Yeah, he won I still say the crazy all crazies was at Dover earlier this year. That was a wild race. Overall start.
We'll have to see if he can top that. See if this race can top that crazy race that we had at Dover back in early May. Nathan Baird has really come on strong as of late. He's now the fastest guy here in qualifying, and of course, like we mentioned, Baird won at Portland, finished 2nd in North Wilkesboro, currently inside the top 10. Stapleton and Fitzwater just went to the top 2 positions. Great run for Stapleton. It's been a decent season for him, surprisingly enough. He hasn't really contended for any wins this season, but he's 1 point behind the cutoff coming into this race. Trey Bartow just went to the top of the board in the number 4 machine. Definitely getting intense out there here in qualifying. Now the 67, the uncharted guy, Jeremiah Dwayne, to the top of the board for North State Racing.
A lot of fast Dodges at the top of the charts. They've definitely, across the board, all over the NOFSRL the past few weeks, they've definitely upped their game.
Got the number 67 there of Jeremiah Dwayne. Trey Bartow also in a Dodge. Zachary Fitzwater in a Dodge in the number 5, or should I say in the number 9. He is 5th right now. here in qualifying. A great starting position if he can, in fact, keep it. Matt Dallio, our last winner here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, currently in the 18th position. Not the worst of starting positions, I think, considering how crazy this racetrack can be, how wild the race can be. Might not be a bad position to start in, kind of midway through the field. We're just going to have to see how it all goes down. But guys like Dallio, and I think another guy I'd really like to mention is John Arndt, coming into this race 13th in the points. He has had an exceptionally quiet season as of late, with 4 races to go until the cutoff. Here he is, only 9 points off the chase at the moment. Another top 10 run. If he finishes top 10 in the next 4 races, I think he's going to be in the chase, no doubt. And it's been a really quiet season for John Arndt, all-time winningest driver on NAPA. Currently 13th quickest here in qualifying. Pretty solid there for the King Hart Family Racing Organization team. Their other driver, Bradley Ream, is currently tied for that cutoff, but he is below Andrew Miller, as he does not have any wins this season. So for Bradley Ream, it's definitely going to be an intense one. Back in the black scheme, he'll get another good run there in that invert scheme here under the lights of Chicagoland.
He's been fast. He's been fast all year, especially since they rolled out that color scheme. They've turned up the heat since then. But you got 4 minutes to go here. Kind of like, some of these guys, if you're sitting there, how much do you go for it? How much do you just sit where you're at, hold your stuff for tomorrow night? It's always the kicker here in these qualifying sessions. But if we take a look at the top, still 67.044. Nobody looks like for the most part seems to have settled down. I'd assume most of these guys, their tires are wearing off. Just nobody quite able to make those huge jumps up, at least at this moment in the session.
Brett Sierra in the 04, currently second quickest here in qualifying. Good run for him. And he currently sits 28th in points. I mean, a solid rookie season. I mean, when you come into the Chick-fil-A Cup Series as a rookie, I don't think you expect to do very well. Now, if your name's Nathan Baird, you might have a different philosophy to that whole thing. But, for Brett Sierra, he's figuring things out with a new team as well. So, I think it also plays a factor into it. Of course, your guys on your team, they're all rookies, but they've had success because that team has been around already. They've gotten a lot of data from the prior season. Same can be said with Sam and Oskin. I mean, Hamill Racing Enterprises, Derek Campbell, they're the winningest team in the series. They know what they're doing over there, and no surprise to see those rookies do well this season. But Brett Sierra capped off the Hers Dash Series with 2 race victories, and he may start coming close to a couple of them here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. I mean, if he wins a race here at Chicagoland, he's going to put himself in that wild card race and could have a shot in making the chase on the wild card. I think that could be said for a lot of guys who are 21st to 30th, where they can probably shoot their way past Fisher G, because you got Matt Dallio in the first wild card position, but he's miles ahead of everybody else. I think he's got at least 40-point lead in the wild card right now. Actually, I think it's 46 points ahead of Vic One Haslam, I do believe, in that wild card. So Matt Dallio, as long as he can rack up top 10s to finish out the season, he should be able to win that wild card. I mean, if he racks up top 10s, he'll probably make it into the top 10 in the points, I should say. But for guys like Dallio and Fisher G who have wins, they need to be consistent to keep into that wild card position. Fisher G currently 11th, a good starting position right now for the Zidell Motorsports driver, won at Martinsville earlier this year. And you got guys like Vic One Haslam, Jesse Turner, Wyatt Quayle, and Thomas Troxel, who have all won races this season, who are kind of deep in that wild card race. They're going to need points to make it on if they can do it.
Or some wins. Definitely, obviously, winning helps too in these wild card races. The more wins you can grab. But it'll be interesting to watch, especially that I want to see what that, be interested in the 35. Troxel's kind of hit a lull here all across the board in the past couple weeks of that team, but it'll be interesting to see if he can break out of his slump here and get back in a victory lane maybe this week.
He is currently, find him here on the leaderboard, 29th fastest. Not the best of runs for him right there, but it could be a wild race. Matt Dallio just moved up to 7th. All 3 of the Outer Island cars inside the top 10. They've had a pretty good year so far. A lot better than last year, I'll say that much. Of course, Turner won in Las Vegas. Dallio won last week. None of them are currently inside the top 10 in points. Dallio's the closest, but Turner and McMillan, of course McMillan especially, has been getting a lot better than 79. Turner has struggled as of late. He won the All-Star race, got $25 for that, but Turner actually broke a very long losing streak in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series in this very race back in Season 6. So Turner's won here before Chicagoland, so has Dallio. I'd watch out for those guys tomorrow. They could have a good shot at going to victory lane. You also got Fitzy, you got Stapleton, you got Nathan Baird. 6th through 10th right there is really strong. McMillan's 4th, Bartow's 3rd. But they're most likely going to be led by Jeremiah Dwayne. And I believe this might be the first pole for an uncharted driver this season. A good run there for Jeremiah Dwayne here in qualifying, taking the most out of this opportunity to possibly get a Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory.
No, P1's always anytime you can start up front, get the track position, it's always key. I'm assuming he's probably going to hold on here with the amount of time we've got left. So that'd be a big one for him.
With the tires wearing out, too, I think that's going to be the case there for Jeremiah Dwayne. So Jeremiah Dwayne and Brett Sierra on the front row. But then you got Trey Bartow in his final season. Of course, Bartow's not had the best of runs. He got a great finish in North Wilkesboro, only his 3rd top 5 of the year. He's 37th in points. A win and a lot of good runs in these last 4 races could give him a shot. But odds are at this point, considering how far behind he is. Actually, you know what? He really isn't that far behind the cutoff in the wild card. If he were to get a win, he would gain a lot of points from said race victory, and he could actually find his way in that last position. I mean, right now, Fisher G, who holds the 2nd wild card, is 24th in points, so that definitely makes things interesting. Dallio, as long as he can keep up top 15 runs, he's good to go. Only unless, of course, a lot of guys around him win races. That's another factor in that wild card race. That's really, really fascinating how that's all going to play out. Jeremiah Dwayne, Brett Sierra on the front row. And take a look and see if we got any ties. I do not see any. Which is good. But I'm still going to have to change it all around and enter 2003 Save Game Editor anyway. But either way, Jeremiah Dwayne wins the pole for the Sirius XM 400. We'll have to see what he and Ryan Benjamin do in the Turkey Hill Series race in less than an hour over on Napa Fan. Huge thanks to Matt Zuck for calling this with me, and he'll be alongside me for tomorrow night's 54-lap race here from the Chicagoland Speedway in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Jeremiah Dwayne, and I will see you guys later.